Hello, I am Lex Farron. I will be playing Brigas Nunca Mais. I will first go with the melody, then I will take a solo and do a chorus of comping, and then I will discuss how I navigate this tune. Brigas Nunca Mais. Most important part to remember over this tune is right at the end, instead of taking the A, which is the key of the song and the last chord that you would normally take, during this part, with that E7 dominant, which would normally go to the A, it actually goes to the B flat major. That's important, and that every time you solo, you will always address the B flat major 7, because it's essential. Also, another important thing is that this is under a 16th note grid, and that in Brazil, a lot of the comping is very much focused on the 2. Right from the start, I go 1 E and a 2 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a ba da bo da. Notice how all that I over accent the 2. That's important to really get the style, and that also every 2 bars of the chord changes, which the song is in 2/4, you're always trying to play the next change. So 1 E and a 2 E and a. This part right here, you're trying to that to E, that you're trying to sort of catch the next chord before the next chord is actually there. So you gotta hit it on the upbeat for the next change after the second chord. So 1 E and a 2 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 1 E. See how on that second chord chain I go a 1 E to get into that one. That's important. Very. Then for the song, it's pretty complicated. Big problems is that easy to solo over a major, and a 6 basically the same thing. But then you get these sharp 5 chords. This is an A flat sharp 5, and then of course to the G major, then to the sharp 5. What I usually do over these parts is that I'll usually outline the A major, and then when it comes to the 5 chord, I'll use a whole tone scale. What's very nice is that this chord and that chord are a whole tone apart, which means they can both use the same whole tone scale, and so you don't really have to go all crazy and have to learn the 2 whole tone scales that exist. But the good thing about the whole tone scale is that it has all the notes that are in it. So it'll have that A flat, it'll have that C, and it'll have the F sharp, and it'll have the E. This is the F sharp, this is the E. Because you're gonna have the F sharp, the E, the C, and the A flat. And that's for both of those chords. Very nice, very useful. Obviously, as you can tell, this has the G flat, which is there, F sharp. This is the D, which is a whole step away from the C. It's got the E that we needed earlier, and it's got the B flat, which is the whole step away from the C. The great part about this is because of all these chord changes, the only 2 notes that stay the same throughout all these chord changes are the E and the F sharp. And so it's a really good idea to take this E and F sharp and then just find each of the thirds, which go down in chromatic order. And so you can create some easy lines by just going. Great stuff. The next few chords will be the G minor 6, which I'll use. Usually I'll use like a Dorian or a melodic minor. And then of course the B minor. Yes. Or no, it goes the B minor, then the G minor 6. Then back to the B minor, then to the E7, then it'll go to the C sharp. Which the thing is that with those last 2 chords, of course you can use first the B minor Dorian scale, and then the G melodic minor. But then for those last 2 chords of the B minor, E7, C sharp, you can think of it as a 2-5-1 to the A, but then really outline the C sharp minor. And so it's like a major 2-5-1 to the A major, but now you're having it to be the C sharp minor. The next hard part will be obviously going from that C sharp to then that C diminished, then down to the B minor, to also the C diminished, or to the F sharp diminished. You can use your half whole scales for stuff like this. So for the F sharp, half whole, because that'll contain the third, and then it'll contain all the notes you'll need, and that's the same kind of thing. And actually, they're not. They're two different scales, so that'll be very important that you definitely keep that in mind and work on that. You can also use a Locrian scale and such, and then the Dorian scale on both those minor chords. Then the last little bit, which will just be that F sharp. So it's the F sharp minor to the B dominant, which is major 2-5-1 to the E major, which is what the next chord will be. Except now it goes to the B minor, then it's a regular 2-5-1 to the major. So outline those changes. That'll be, and then it'll come back around. And after the part with the G minor, the B minor, the G minor 6, and then it'll actually, that last little bit, the B minor to the E7 will be a 2-5-1 to the A major. Then it'll go to the A sharp 5, then to the D major to the D minor 6. For those, major scale, whole tone, but now it has to be up a half step because the last one won't work. So now it's got to be, and that's also great because that outlines the chord. Then you can have it be major and then melodic minor. The melodic minor is nicer because it makes sure that you're not like, you still keep the 6th and you still keep the flat 3, and there's still a leading tone. And it's not so much different from the D major scale. That it's unrecognizable. Now, this last little bit, that can actually just be, for comping and for soloing purposes, that can just be a droning E flat, E majors, E dominant, 7th chord. So that's very useful because then you can more focus on soloing in the E mixolydian or the A major or anything like that, and without having to deal with like a bunch of different chord changes. And yeah, that's the idea behind the tune. A bit of a tricky one, but if you want to learn more, I definitely suggest taking lessons with me, and I can discuss more about how to comp and how to solo and what exactly those scales mean and how they actually function over the song. Thank you. And goodbye.